Hello and welcome back to the Lion's Den. I'm your host as Matt. I'm your host as always. I'm Matt. Yes. Yeah. Oh God. Hi. Yeah. So I think I'll make this a bit of a quick one because basically I've decided to come out into the back streets of nowhere to record this episode in the back of my new car. You know, this old fun again. But the location, as I've just found out in the past 20 odd minutes, has frequent people driving by and runners, cyclists, all sorts, and yeah, it's not fun. The main reason I came out here is because my dad is currently doing some renovations to their bathroom, which means a lot of noise, and I need somewhere quiet to record, so here we are. I picked clearly a bad spot. Anyway, here's something fun and exciting. I'm going on a small little trip this weekend, which is why I'm recording at a random time in the middle of the week. I'm going down to just see some mates elsewhere in the country, but I'm going over the weekend, so it means I can't record and then edit and upload before Sunday because I will be on a train at 4 o'clock on Sunday, so there's that. And I'm trying to be ahead of the game and give myself leeway, and oh god, it's so stressful trying to figure out what the hell you're doing in a week when you're trying to plan stuff, because you know I'm still at work, I'm trying to account for this, but I'm also trying to pack for the trip and make sure that I've got everything ready for the trip, like travel and what do I pack, what do I want to take to meet with my friend. I never knew how much stress I actually feel in these scenarios until I'm actually now doing this scenario. So I don't have anything particularly interesting to talk about. I just recorded an episode about history of phones, but basically I just talked about what phone I've had constantly, which I don't think is particularly that interesting. And I questioned why I thought that was a good idea earlier today when I decided that that would be what I record. But anyway, I think the fun thing that I use is like, you know, that kind of icebreaker question of what's something interesting about you? Well, my interesting thing is that I can identify smartphones with like stupid accuracy. And I mean, you could cover up the badges and just show me the back, or even just show me the front of a smartphone and I'd have maybe like 90% accuracy in guessing what it is, which is probably quite sad, but also it's useful in some essences because essentially it means that I know too much about smartphones. And if you want a smartphone recommendation, I'm your guy. As part of my previous episode, I gave a little anecdote about how basically my first smartphone was as a result of me having this wealth of knowledge. Like, one of my traits is that whenever I want to buy something new, I will go full on head dive into that area and try and figure out what the best thing is for my budget, or the best thing if I want to stretch the budget to get something even better. Because, you know, there's that kind of thing where you could spend 100 quid on, I don't know, a really nice, I can't think of something. You could spend 100 quid on X item, right? And it could probably be really great, but it might not last too long. Or you could spend 150 quid, just a little bit more, to get something significantly better. And that's kind of my like motto in life is, if you can, push a little bit more money into what you're spending and buy something that's going to last you a while. Which is why from that first phone that I put so much effort into finding a budget conscious phone, I've now evolved into buying but using flagship phones for longer. Like, the phone I've got currently is the most I ever spent on a phone, but I'm already at the 1 year 9 month mark and I'm not even considering about replacing it because it's perfectly fine. I think my like benchmark for this phone currently is that on day one, when I started using it, I could get easily 2 days out of the battery. By the end of day 2, it was at like 10 to 15%, no problems. Now it's probably more like a day and a half, which is still phenomenal. And the funny thing is, like, every other smartphone I've ever had have generally lasted a day. So I'm not even at the point where my previous smartphones were with my current one that's almost 2 years old. So yeah, and it's not slowed down or anything. It's still getting Android updates, and it will do for a while, so that's really freaking cool. And that just kind of goes back to my whole idea of, I spent a fair bit more to get it, but I'm also thinking over the long run it's probably going to save me money because I'm not buying new phones to kind of keep refreshing. So yeah, that's friggin' fantastic. I think technology is just fascinating in general, and especially the mobile landscape is really weird because we've got to that point where I think, you know, like PCs got to, where you can probably buy any PC from the last maybe 5 years and it's gonna be fine. The laptop I bought 5 years ago now is still fine. I just bought a gaming computer because I wanted more power, but I imagine this gaming computer is going to last me a good long while before I want to upgrade that. nice thing about a PC is I can upgrade it if I want down the line. But it's the same with smartphones, right? Anything in the last 3-4 years is probably still perfectly adequate for what most people want to do, and any power user has probably got money anyway, so they can buy new shiny stuff and whatever. So I think the more interesting thing is what they're now doing with smartphones to kind of push them into weird and wonderful areas, like the whole foldable screens. I think is absolutely fascinating, and I would love a folding screen phone personally. I think the idea is so novel and just interesting, and the thing is, the phone then behind it is no worse than what we have currently, bar like a couple caveats. But it's not like you're getting a literal flip phone from the 1980s. You're getting a flip phone plus a smartphone jammed on top, right? And I think that's really cool. I would love, for example, a Galaxy Z Flip 3. I think it's really cool, and it's basically just a normal smartphone, but you can fold it in half, and I think that's fantastic. There's nothing innately practical to it folding in half outside of space saving, but yeah, I think if you don't buy something purely, well, if you're buying things purely for utility, again, depends on the item, but that's kind of boring. I think you should buy things because they're fun as well as being utilitarian, which I think the whole folding stuff is. Anyway, I'm not gonna rabbit on too much longer about my weird fascinations. I will leave you on this ponderous question as to why the designers thought this was a good idea. So in my new car, there are 3, and I literally mean 3 strips of white plastic that they added to the trim. I don't know why, it's stupid, but it's not bad. If it was coloured, I would absolutely hate it. Like if it was the same red as the outside of the car, hate it. But the fact that it's white kind of goes with the whole black and white and grey motif on the inside, that's fine. The real question is, why is it white, sparkly paint? Why? Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed listening to this decidedly short episode, but silly episode either way. Stay safe, and I'll see you all next week. Bye!